Hello and welcome to another episode of Frightfully Forgotten Horror Movies. But before we get started, what are we drinking?
Today we're drinking Killer Kolsch from Outer Space. Today we'll be talking about 1999's The Ninth Gate.
No. We're doing the Ninth Configuration.
Ninth Configuration? What the hell's a Ninth Configuration?
I told you, that's the movie that we're going to be reviewing today. The Ninth Configuration.
Well, I didn't watch The Ninth Configuration. I watched The Ninth Gate.
Well, you've seen this movie before though, right? I mean, we can still do the review.
Oh, no, I've never seen The Ninth Configuration. But you've seen The Ninth Gate, right? So we'll just cover that movie. We'll do Ninth Configuration next time.
I've never seen The Ninth Gate.
Fuck. What the hell are we going to do then?
I don't know. You want to just go to the pub and get drunk?
I don't see any other choice.
Neither do I. Hello and welcome to another episode of Frightfully Forgotten Horror Movies. But before we get started, what are we drinking?
Well, I've had to rename this beer now to Killer Kane Kolsch.
Excellent. That sounds much, much better. Today we're going to bring to you 1980's The Ninth Configuration. The Ninth Configuration was written and directed by William Peter Blatty. The author of The Exorcist wrote this book as well. An early draft called Tinkle Twinkle Killer Kane.
Which he actually tried shopping that screenplay around, and with no luck, but then after The Exorcist became a big hit, he kind of rewrote that novel into this novel and was able to farm out the script as a screenplay. This movie has an all-star cast. And when I say all-star cast, it's not these big Hollywood people. It's just great fucking actors, you know, who probably most of them never really got their due. So Stacy Keach is in this. He's in tons of things, but we'll mention Road Games because we covered it many moons ago. Scott Wilson is in this, and he is in tons of things. Most people probably recognize him from The Walking Dead. But he's also in The Exorcist III as the chain-smoking psychiatrist. Jason Miller's also in this, and he is in The Exorcist. And The Exorcist III.
So the Ninth Configuration starts off with this castle in the distance, and it's raining, and there's this nice, pleasant song playing, too.
Adult contemporary music.
San Antone still looks good to me. This man sort of sitting at the windowsill looking out at the rain. This castle that we see is actually an insane asylum that the U.S. government has chosen to house veterans from the Vietnam War who've gone insane, and then do research on them, and like experimental research to see if they're really insane or if they're just faking it. And if they're really insane, what's ticking, right?
Well, maybe being in the Vietnam War might have something to do with it.
Nah, that can't be.
No, that was a very pleasant experience for everyone involved.
We also get a brief introduction to all the crazy cast of characters as well, right? Drill sergeant there, and he's like calling his troops to, you know, command and everything, and everybody's giving him shit and acting up and going all nuts.
Shove a pineapple up your ass and call you Hawaiian. Like all this weird, wacky dialogue.
Like really only insane people would say. We also get introduced to the new commander that's supposed to take over, Vincent Kane. He's also the psychiatrist for the insane asylum, doing his rounds on all of the inmates. There are a few notable characters here with their weird quirks and traits. There's one that like tried running into a wall to see if the wall would move.
And I failed. Horribly.
Rearranged the atoms in the wall with his mind.
There's also Colonel Cutshaw. He's the astronaut in the first Exorcist who Reagan tells him, "You're gonna die up there."
You're gonna die up there.
Reno, who's played by Jason Miller, rewriting Shakespeare plays for dogs. So the dogs can play the parts.
He's got all these dogs running around, that one that looks like a mop.
Assistant, who's Joe Spinell.
Who apparently just wrote himself into the movie.
So as Kane speaks to all these inmates, especially Colonel Cutshaw, they start to have a bit of a philosophical debate. They start getting pretty deep into the mind here. Why Colonel Cutshaw didn't go to space and what makes him tick, so to speak, Colonel Kane starts to have these nightmares, these reoccurring dreams of himself in Vietnam, Jesus on the cross, these crucifixes, the moon. So he's also having like this bit of a philosophical debate in his own mind about the odds of life happening here on Earth. For hundreds of billions of molecules to appear, they'd have to appear in the 9th configuration.
After Kane has all these nightmares, he talks with the medical doctor of the insane asylum. They're just kind of chatting and shooting the shit, and he starts talking about his brother who also served in Nam. And it's a bit of like a sore spot with him because his brother went crazy in Nam and killed tons of people. And he was nicknamed Killer Kane. The doctor mentions, like, well, yeah, I think I might have run into your brother when I was in the service. How is he doing? Is he okay? Colonel Kane responds, no, he's dead.
Jesus, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry that I brought that up. Then he leaves the room and starts crying, and we don't really know why. Kane comes up with all these crazy ideas to make the inmates better, try to help them along. Out of the box ideas. So one idea is to just let them live out their fantasies and do whatever they want. Reenacting the Great Escape, and they order all these Nazi uniforms for all the military to wear.
Yeah, like one of them has a Superman outfit on.
yeah. The black guy has a Superman outfit with an N on it instead.
It's like, what the hell does that stand for?
A lot of the other military officers in the castle aren't too happy about this because now they're basically the inmates are running the asylum, right?
Yeah, it's hard to rein them back in.
Major Groper walks into the office. He's dressed in that Nazi outfit. He's like, do I really have to wear this shit? He's all mad. And that character is played by Neville Brand, who's in tons of stuff, but he's in Toby Hooper's Eaten Alive. So a new patient arrives at the castle. Kane is supposed to go meet him and have his first little conversation with him. And the patient comes out and recognizes Colonel Kane. You're Killer Kane! And instantly Colonel Kane, goes into this catatonic state and, faints. And disclaimer here, huge spoiler.
Yeah.
The medical doctor holds a big meeting with all the staff and reveals that Colonel Kane actually isn't Colonel Kane. It is his brother, who is really Killer Kane, who came back from Nam so fucked up and shell-shocked from all the bad stuff he did that he, got rid of his real personality and embodied the personality of his brother.
Yeah.
Himself, the doctor, you know? He thinks he's his brother because his brother is a good person and helps people. Completely believes that he's this psychiatrist now. So he's doing this weird experimental thing by bringing him to the asylum, posing him as the psychiatrist to see if that actually helps him get better. Cutshaw escapes the castle and ends up at this seedy bar.
Yeah. This country bar with all these bikers.
And there's all these bikers, which we saw in the beginning of the movie driving down the street, and they had some old man all strapped to their truck.
Needless to say, they're up to no good.
Yeah. And they recognize him. They're like, that's the astronaut that went insane and never went to the moon.
Pouring beer on him, beating them all up, punching them in the stomach and everything.
So Colonel Kane still believes that he is a psychiatrist. They're letting the ruse continue, basically. He goes out to go find Cutshaw because they know he escaped. He walks into the bar and confronts all these bikers. And they start giving him the gears and assaulting him. And that's where we're going to end the movie. If you haven't seen 9th Configuration, definitely watch the movie. It's a crazy ending.
Yeah.
But why should you watch the 9th Configuration?
Well, one of the reasons is that William Peter Blatty actually considers this movie to be the true sequel to the book, The Exorcist, which is interesting, right? He actually wrote this as the sequel.
William Peter Blatty does sequels in a very neat way, where he doesn't take the main story or main character from the first one. He takes a minor character and it's their story continuing on. In the movie, this character isn't even given a name.
Yeah, exactly.
That's how minor of a character it is. In the book, they name him, but in the movie, they don't. It's their story. And same thing with Exorcist III. It's a minor character's continuing story. And it's not just rehashing the same shit from the first one.
That's right, yeah. It kind of shows the different aspects of how religion and those philosophical ideas affect people, right?
Yeah,
it's interesting. The acting for this movie is fantastic. It's up there, and it's like a actor's dream, really, because like a lot of these actors are playing insane people, so they got to just fly off the handle, and they do a good job of it. We also have a lot of great actors. Tom Atkins
as a bit part.
Yeah, he's got a bit part. Joe Spinell plays Joe Spinell.
Yeah, like he wasn't even in the script.
No,
he wanted to be in the movie, so they just wrote him in and gave him his own name. You know?
Yeah, most of his lines are all ad-libbed too, and everything. They just threw him into it. Richard Lynch is one of the bikers. He was in Bad Dreams, which we covered. Robert Loggia is in this too.
Tony!
Yeah, Tony! And Vera, is it Vera that you want?
And the characters are very interesting because at face value, they're wacky, they're insane. Probably more insane than a real insane person would be. Quirky and out there.
Yeah.
And goofy. But they're also very smart. And the doctor does mention most of these guys have like a higher than average IQ on the verge of genius. The conversations that they have with Colonel Kane are so poignant and so philosophical, where it's like, it's genius, right? So it's like this really neat mixture of insanity and genius in all these characters.
The way that he crafts the dialogue, all of the crazy stuff that they say is all under the guise of like
insanity.
It's insanity, but then it's all meaningful, poignant stuff that they're actually getting across, but it just sounds so crazy.
Yeah. No, it's great. It's written really good.
Yeah.
You know, it's written, I love that. Like insanity disguised as the truth.
Strike that. Reverse it.
Yeah, when you start thinking about it,
when you listen close enough, it's like, that's
true, I think.
That's pretty true. The dynamic between the characters is really good. It's really interesting. Like, especially with Kane and other characters, like Kane and the doctor, who we find out is his brother. That's a really neat dynamic. And that one scene they have when they're talking, you don't know yet that they're brothers.
Yeah.
And when you rewatch the movie and see the reactions, it's like, it hits home a lot harder.
And it's like, that's why.
And the dynamic between Cutshaw and Kane is very interesting because they're both playing doctor to each other. Cutshaw is arguing kind of against God and against religion.
Yeah.
And then Kane is not necessarily a super religious person, but he's like, well, you know, self-sacrifice and all that stuff is goodness, and if there's goodness, there could be God. All that kind of stuff. But they're helping each other by being adversaries and debating this. They're actually helping each other. Yeah. And I find that very interesting.
By helping each other, it actually starts to trigger Kane to unravel.
He can't live a false life forever. He needs to become himself again.
But then if he does, it's a bad person.
Right. So that's interesting stuff. It's a double-edged sword, right? That's very interesting. Themes in this movie are fantastic. And it's all stuff that's debatable. It's not black and white.
And the settings for this movie, too, are awesome. Like, the castle itself is wicked.
Oh, yeah.
An isolated castle in New England. In the United States, you know, with all this fog and mist around it and everything.
As an insane asylum.
Yeah.
Like, that's one hell of a nice insane asylum. They got posters everywhere. There's no rubber rooms or anything. Like, it's nothing like that place they put us in back in the 90s.
I know, we really went off the rails.
Well, you know, a couple of kids making movies in the basement who loved horror movies.
Parents thought we were nuts.
Luckily, some archival footage exists from back in those days that we can look on and say, we're glad times are different now.
Viewer discretion is advised.
All right! That's enough! Time for your medication. No, Damn you, Germans! No!
And the castle is really cool too, because it symbolizes a lot of things, I think. Like when they first show the castle, it's isolated, it's foggy, there's fog around the castle, and that really symbolizes these characters, right? They're foggy, their mind is full of fog, and they're confused, and they're isolated from society and from their own minds, right? Like that castle, the setting is cool, but I think it means more than just that.
Right.
It symbolizes what these characters are going through.
And there's a lot of symbolism, too, in this movie. Jesus on the cross.
Yeah.
A lot of statues, right? Those gargoyles and shit that they're showing. All that type of stuff.
Which mirrors The Exorcist quite a bit. Like, the imagery in this movie is very similar to the imagery in The Exorcist. I don't think that's just by chance. That's on purpose, because it is a sequel.
Yeah.
Even though it's not the same director, it's all the same themes. All that carries over, So it makes sense that those images carry over, too.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's very, like, you can see the same thing going on in Exorcist III, which was done by Peter Blatty as well, right?
Yeah.
So you can see all that imagery, the way that it's filmed and shot. It's a good connection.
This movie is bizarre, to say the least. It's a one-of-a-kind movie. There's nothing really like it.
Yeah.
Like, maybe One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest is a little similar.
Sort of just in setting,
just
I
in
guess.
setting and stuff, but, like, this movie starts off almost like a pure comedy. Like, the tone is so bizarre, so it starts off with that weird happy music, and then we're introduced to the characters, and it becomes almost like a slapstick comedy.
Little bit.
It's like a fucking Marx Brothers movie where it's just and people doing crazy shit, and it's funny, and people saying stupid stuff, and it's funny. And then the tone slowly changes, almost with you not even knowing it, into something much darker.
Yeah.
And more philosophical and meaningful than what it appears at first at the surface as being some silly, insane asylum. This movie is chocked full of so many themes, like so many that I doubt we can even touch upon most of them.
Oh, yeah, and it's crazy. It's the way that they try and get it all across, too, in the movie. It's convoluted. Again, it's like kind of like what we were saying earlier, where they're putting it across in an insane way.
Yeah.
To where you get confused almost, right? But they're saying a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And a lot of important stuff.
And because the movie, like, is such a gray area about, like, all the themes of God and heaven, hell, or nothing.
Yeah.
Talks about all that. You almost have to put your own spin onto what the movie's really about, like, at its core. And I really think the movie's kind of about self-redemption.
Yeah.
Like, redemption of not just the soul, but redemption of your whole self.
Yeah,
like,
it's
the
your
redemption of you as a whole, because Kane, like, completely becomes a different person, after Nam, because he's done such horrible things where he wants to completely remove his personality and his soul from what he once was, and becomes a better person who is his brother, who he believes is a good person. The kind of person who would go to heaven. He can't be someone else forever. Eventually he has to go back to his real self, and he does. In that bar fight. That crazy bar fight where he kills all those bikers. And...
Yeah, he reverts back to his old self.
Yeah, but by doing that, that's his redemption, because he saves Cutshaw. Earlier in the movie, he's always talking about self-sacrifice. And that is the essence of goodness, is sacrificing yourself for the better good.
Yeah.
Other people. And that's what he does. He ends up dying. Not right away, but there's a wound that he gets inflicted by in that bar fight that kills him. And that's his redemption. That's his final, okay, I did something good. I can be at peace now. I saved this good man.
What's it all for, though? Is there a grand scheme?
Cutshaw not being able to cope with that question.
Yeah, and he's afraid.
He's afraid. He's so afraid where it puts him into the madhouse. Kane is always wondering why Cutshaw never went to the moon. Why didn't you go? What stopped you from going? And he's always afraid to tell him.
Yeah.
Until he finally does tell him, and he's like, I was afraid because I don't know what's up there. It's lonely and it's dark. It's scary. And that mirrors, that parallels death. Lonely and dark, and I don't know what's up there or what's gonna be there. Like, that's all very poignant stuff, and that's Cutshaw's, like, downfall. He doesn't know how to cope with that. You got one guy who is afraid of dying, Cutshaw, and you got Kane who doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah, he doesn't care.
Yeah. Something very interesting happens in this movie where Cutshaw, early on, notices something wrong about Colonel Kane.
Yeah.
And tells the other inmates, I think he's insane.
Right, he's the insane one, yeah.
And by doing so, almost reveals the fact that Cutshaw himself is the sane man. He is actually not insane. He's just troubled.
Yeah.
He's the only person in this insane asylum who's actually sane. He's just so scared of dying. And it's Kane that helps him cope with that fear of dying. By the end, he is able to live a proper life.
Right. And also with that bar fight, he doesn't care.
Right.
Because they like beat the shit out of him and do all this stuff to him, and he doesn't care. And I think it's because he's already come to the realization. Right? He can cope with it now.
Yeah, so I like that. I think that's very interesting that, like, Cutshaw was never insane from the beginning. So frightened. He didn't know how to deal with it.
Yeah. And then he was ashamed. Like, there's shame and all that comes with it because he didn't go.
When the movie starts and they talk about people are in this place to find out if they're really insane, Cutshaw is one of those people who probably almost faking it.
Yeah.
Just so he doesn't have to deal with society's perspective of him not going to the moon.
Yeah.
And being a public figure and being shamed. Now he can go hide away. Then when he goes to the biker bar, that's him finally...
Yeah, he's like, I'm okay with it now.
Dealing with the public. And he gets that out of his system.
Yeah.
And gets the shit kicked out of him. But now, after that's all over, he's purged all that. Right?
That's right, yeah.
Fuck. Deep movie.
Yeah, it's super deep, man. And there's even more stuff.
Yeah.
Because, like, there's analogies with Shakespeare.
Yeah.
And there are so many twists and turns and facets of this that you can delve into. And it's like you can talk about this for hours.
Yeah, you could. But we're not.
We just touched on it
a little bit. We just skimmed the surface here. Ninth Configuration isn't quite a horror movie, but it's a movie definitely worth talking about.
Yeah, it touches on a lot of subjects.
Yeah, and it's worth watching for many reasons, not just because it's the sequel to The Exorcist, but because it's a fucking fantastic film, and there's nothing like it.
No, and it's brilliant, too. Yeah. It's brilliantly written. Like, William Peter Blatty, I don't know, man, that guy's got to have an IQ through the roof.
It's one of those movies that you watch, and then you're thinking about it days after. And you're still like, fuck, like, more things coming to realization about what's really being said.
Yeah.
It unravels slowly in your brain afterwards, and if that's not a perfect movie, I don't know what is.
Yeah, you can really appreciate it, right?
Yeah. So, if you want to watch the true sequel to The Exorcist...
The book, mind you.
Yeah, none of this fucking Pazuzu shit, none of this... none of that garbage, then watch The Ninth Configuration.
Yeah, you won't be disappointed. And have a debate afterwards. You're probably going to need a few beers, too. Just to calm the brain.
Perfect movie to drink and debate over.
Yeah, that's right. But no fighting, though. Like Kane.
Yeah.
He all breaks that guy's hand over the glass. The biker guy, too, with that mascara.
Yeah, all that eye makeup, yeah.
All right, until next time, keep drinking.